Welcome to this easy Linux machine. I thought I'd just do this one because it's in the unofficial CPTS playlist of IPSAC, and I got the exam in about 7 or 6 days, so that's why I'm short of preparing this one. So it's an easy Linux machine which features a DNS lookup, which you can use to do a zone transfer and see the alternate vhost. Once you get into that vhost, you can use it to, I believe this one has a SQL injection vulnerability. And this one allows you to visit another vhost because it can read system files because there's vulnerability inside of the database, or because of you can inject SQL. Once you get onto that host, you can actually also do another local file inclusion, which allows you to do some remote code execution by sending a mail to one of the users. And if you get this, which was already, I think, quite a sophisticated attack, you can escalate your privileges by using the fail to ban service. So it's one of the first things that lists up if you do sudo l, but still executing it to get privilege escalation was quite difficult, I'd say. So first of all, if you just go to trick.hack-the-box, there's not going to be anything special inside the page. So you see that there's nothing. You can try scanning it, but it's not going to do anything. So if you just do a fav on username, and then it's going to be // I'm just going to copy this. I'm just going to change the name here. So it's going to be trick.hack-the-box, and then this is also going to be trick.hack-the-box. Trick.hack-the-box, and this should be it. You want to filter the size because most of the time it's not going to be similar. And it's not going to find anything, because the way you have to find it is you have to go into actually a zone transfer, because if you can't find it like this, it's probably not going to sort of bring it to you. So if I'll just look at the mmap scans again, we can see that 52 is open. The way you can sort of use this is you can use NS lookup, but we can also use dig AXFR. AXFR stands for, wait, actually not sure anymore. Dig AXFR zone transfer. What is it? It's just a zone transfer, I believe. Those are the commands, I think. AXFR, where is it? It's in protocol. It's using extra protocol. Okay, so it's just replicating DNS records across DNS servers. So it's actually something, for example, if you have multiple servers, it's always good to sort of cross match them so you can actually get there. Well, okay, once we do this, you will see we get sorry, I messed it up. You will get pre-prod payroll trick.hack-the-box. So if we go to this page, we can actually see it looks oddly similar, and it has some login. But if we look at the source code by pressing Ctrl-U, I do see employees payroll management system. And other than that, I don't really see something special unless we can sort of log in, which is also good if we can capture this request. So I'm just going to look for an exploit. There's a lot of them. The only one that works is this SQLi injection authentication bypass, because the other ones have some sort of feature which we don't have access to. So it's just going to say, well, okay, you can use this one to sort of pass it and log in as admin. Sure, we can try that. But we first of all have to capture the request. So we're just going to go here, and I'm just going to go here and do test and tests. This is what we're going to try to do. I'm just going to send this to the repeater tab, and I'm not going to intercept anything because that can be in our way. We can actually try to use this and see what it will bring us. So if we do this, we get a status OK with something 3. So it's probably not, it doesn't even have a backend probably, because if I try to do this, it's going to be username or password incorrect. If I set this as the username, where is it? This is the username and password. I'm just going to copy this because I want to save it. It's going to say, no, this trying to get proper runs an object for our class. So this is actually something you can try. So if I just copy this, I'll leave this here. You can actually try to put this inside of the website and see, what you get. So I'm getting this, or actually I'm not sure what it is. Wait, what is it? L921, I've been class rank. Right, I'm not sure. Thing is, what I was trying to say, we don't really need it, as we just want to look at the request and try some other enumeration, because you essentially, if you have SQLi injection, you want some tool to scan it for you. So there's the exact tool, which is going to be SQL map. If I can get this sort of smaller, like this, I can do an SQL map on the page HTB // it's going to be pre-prod.payroll.trick.hack-the-box, and then we need to do this action behind it, which is going to be this ajax.php. So I'm just going to copy this because this is essentially where you're sort of like sending it to. And then we're going to do the data. So that's just going to be this data. It doesn't really matter what you have here as long as you have something. Oh, I should do it like this. Okay, like this. And then you have to do the payload. So we're just going to inject username, as I saw them injecting username as well. And I'm going to choose the option batch because that one is going to sort of choose the options for you. It does not exist. Preprod.payroll. What did I type wrong? Oh, it's a dash. Sorry, it's my bad. Preprod.payroll.hack the box. So there we go. So it finds something. I already ran it, so it's probably not going to bring you these results. What you have to do in order, because it's going to get stuck on time-based blind, which is really, really slow. So what you can do, you can actually run this command, which is using BUES. And if I show it here, I can do man on SQL map and search for technique, like technique, sorry. You can see we have the options B's STQ. And if you look at like the documentation here, it's going to be Boolean-based, time-based, error-based, union query-based, and stacked query-based. By doing BUES, we're doing BEUS. So we're skipping time-based because we don't want that, right? That's the thing we're doing. So we can run this and it's going to try just those commands and it's going to get them off with error-based, which is a lot faster compared to the other one. So what you can try to do is, for example, read databases or look at your privileges. And this one actually has the privileges of reading files, which is good because this means if we just go back here and skip this, we can actually try to do a file is /user, sorry, etc/password. And this should read it. It's not reading it. Option is probably, what is the option then? /read file. What is the option? -- file. Pattern not found. I thought it was something with read. Wait, let me try. SQL map file read, like something. Read file. What is the thing we have to do? Right, I'm just gonna try to do a file read. Then, if it doesn't let me. But it was something with file read. If I spell it correctly. Oh, wait, it's not working. Why is it not in the man page? It's saved. I'm not sure why this doesn't show it in the man page, but we got a file at least. So we can see what kind of uses there are. If you want to know which users are actually like valid, you can do, for example, bash. And you see we only have root and Michael. I think you can also do and then you have, I'm not sure, but I believe root, Michael, and other ones are actually the ones which have some sort of way to, like, are actual users. So now that we got this, we can actually read any file on the system. So instead of reading etc password, why is it doing it? Oh, I'd saved it, sorry. Okay, so instead of reading this file, you can read any file on the system. They sort of don't show it, but what you have to do, you have to go to the Nginx default values. So that's going to be etc Nginx, and then it's going to be, I believe it's sites enabled. I can tab. Why can I tab? I don't know. Right, and then I want batch because I don't want this. It's going to save it to this file. I haven't copied it correctly. So I'm just going to cat it, and this is going to be the file. And immediately what you will notice, or what you should notice, is this server name, which was pre-prod marketing, which is new. And then there's like nothing really else in the system because PHP is quite, it's just including something, not taking any user input or anything. So the only thing that's changing is pre-prod marketing. So we can actually go to this side. Just close these. Pre-prod marketing restricted text box. So we have some actual site, which looks promising. So we can go to services, and it brings us to services, about, and contact. And what we have some contact form here, but what is more interesting is that this changes. So it might be reading it. So what you can try to do is do // It still works. Okay. we can now try to do, for example, //etc/password, and we get a blank page. It's probably likely that this computer or service doesn't have a valid way of checking which files exist. So what you want to do, it's probably some filtering, because when I went to about.html, you can see it just works fine. So you can actually add anything here. So it's probably just filtering this out. So what you can try to do is you can try to use some other characters. The most simple way to go about this is using 4 dots and a slash. So it's going to remove this essentially, and it's concatenating them together. So what you can do is 1 2 3 4 / / 1 2 3 4 / I need 4, and then etc/password. And this should be able to read the file like normally. Why is it taking me here? It's not. Let me do another. Oh, I had 1.2. Still not showing yet. That's weird. What did I do differently? Oh, another slash. Okay, yeah, so there we go. So you can now actually read files. This is pretty great, but it is kind of difficult to lay the connection between how you can sort of exploit this. If you're familiar with how it should work, is that you have var mail and a Michael, and this is going to be his mail directory things. And we knew the mail was open. So what you can try to do is if we just go to netcat and then we have trick.hackthebox on port 25, which is going to be its mail, you can actually send its mail, and any mail you send it will go to this page directly. So it's just going to be in plain text here, and can also get executed. The way you can send mail is by just authenticating it to the server. There you're going to do mail from, and it's going to be Woodang. Why it's Woodang, I'm not sure. I know it's the creator of the book of the box, but I haven't figured out why it's Woodang, why I can't use anything else. I'm not sure yet. Right. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to do hello, how are you doing? And then h1 test /h1, something like this, and then send the mail. If I were to go now to this thing and try to read it, we actually see we get some things here, and it's getting executed. The most interesting thing you can do, since this is a PHP site, is just run a PHP reverse shell here, or better would just to be some web shell. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to sort of run this web shell, reverse shell, by importing, making sure that this data can be executed. So if I go to the mail again, I'm just going to do a mail from Woodang. I'm not sure if I need to do these again. I'm just going to do it. It's going to be Michael, and then I got to do data, and then we'll have this command here, this payload. So it's going to execute any system command which is going to come across. If I now go to here, and I just have to change this, because now I can do actually parameter here. Because the way this is set up, it's going to get this command as a parameter for the website. So I can do, for example, ID, and it should, it's not going to showcase it, but if you're just going to sort of change this for a reverse shell, it might work. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to look for bash reverse shell and see what I get. So there's some cheat sheet. I'm just going to grab this one. Just grab the bash TCP one. I'll just grab the top one. Most of the time they're the most prominent. And I'm just going to have to change these spaces to URL encoding. So they're sort of safe, I guess you could say. And I'm also going to change the port, or sorry, IP address, I mean. So we're just going to do 10.10.14.9, which is my IP address. Before I start this, I just want to start a netcat listener. So I'm just going to go and create a new one. So netcat NLVP, was it 4242, I believe? Let's look at it. Yeah, 4242. So I'm just going to send this to the website. So here, and I want to change this ID to bash, like this. If I run it, I should get a connection back. I hope so. Otherwise, I'm going to have to do some debugging here, which I'm not really excited for. Okay, I had to do a complete machine reset because it just wasn't working anymore. It was showing me the normal files, but maybe there was some other mail instead of the mail which prevented it from working. I'm not sure, but it just didn't work anymore. I reset it and now we have a connection. Right. Once you get into here, you just immediately want to get out of this this shell. So if we just go and see where we are, we don't want to be here. So just go to home, and then we see Michael, and then we're just going to do an LSLA, and I'm seeing cd.ssh, and you will find a file here. Just copy it, paste it over to your own machine, and if you're here, just make sure it has the rights of being only read-write by the owner and nothing else, because that's something that's required. Then we're going to do an it RSA to Michael at trick.hackthebox. They should log us into the machine. And if we get here, we can of course see the user.txt. The way you want to go about process escalation is these boxes normally don't have two lateral movements. You just want to see sudo l and see what you can run as root. This was actually quite a difficult way to sort of get to know it, but if I just go into etc/field to ban, if it's tabbing, you can see quite some files. And there's only one writable by me, because I'm in the security group. If you look at ID, I'm also in security. So I'm quite interested in that one. So if I just go here, I'm not really seeing anything special. If you look into the documentation of IP tables, there is going to be some specific way of handling this. If you go to, I believe it's IP tables multi-port. If we look at this one, cat IP tables multi-port, here are like the things you should do if something happens. So for example, it's going to be an action check, action stop, and there's also going to be something which is similar to banning, I believe. This is not the one, I would think. Or is it? Actually, I should be action ban. Oh, so I was looking over it. Here's action ban. You can actually change whatever is in here, because it's just doing some specific IP tables rule. We can't write to it, sadly, but since we actually own this group, right, we can write to it, which is a weird interaction in Linux. But if we just go here and move our file into something else, so it doesn't really matter, and then we copy it into the same file again. Wait, kind of stat.old. Oh, the machine resets, so it's going to be here again. All right, so we're just going to copy this into .old, and then I'm just going to go into .old and have the same file again. If we now look at our file, we can actually see we own it, which is pretty cool, because then we can run it. Next thing I want to do is I want to have a file that's going to be ran. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to nano /tmp/shell.shell. And here I just want to invoke the bin bash. So /bin/bash. And then I want to do a bash I, and this is going to be some reverse shell bash, right? Which is what I wanted to use earlier. So bash reverse shell cheat sheet. This is going to be the one I want to use. I'm just going to copy the top one. And try to use it like this. I didn't mean to do that one. And it's going to be my IP address instead of this one. So it's going to be 10.10.14.9. On port 442, it doesn't really matter. I want to start a listener in case I actually do manage to get it. I don't care about this one. So I'm just going to start a netcat NLVP on 4242 it was. And then I'm going to continue on this one. So I should see if it's still here. They're still here. Now we just need to change the IP tables multiport.conf, right? So it should be read-write by us, I think. Should still, yeah. So we're just going to do a nano, maybe Vim is installed. Oh, they installed Vim. So action ban is going to be here. Nice. And now we can do the rule we want to invoke. So I'm just going to comment this out. Oh, brought me back up. I'm just going to comment this out, and then I want to write my own. So we're just going to do tmp/shell, I believe it is. It's really simple, I think. And then I want to also chmod +x/team/shell.shell. Right. Now, we should restart the service. So if we just do sudo l, I want to restart the service, and I hope it restarts without any errors. So it's restarting. And if we now were to sort of SSH to Michael at trick.hackthebox and just create some like a lot of false errors, so it's gonna sort of ban our IP because it's gonna try to ban it, right? We should be able to actually get a shell. So I'm just gonna do it again. So I think the default is about 5 times if you do it wrong. So if we now go to our netcat, we still don't have a connection, sadly. So we're just gonna do it again. And I hope the rule is gonna sort of apply any second now. Maybe it's doing it now. Yeah, so now we get root. So this is sort of invoked the action ban rule. And now you can actually see we have this file. Oh, it doesn't let me /root/root.txt. So now you can actually see we have the root flag. So if we go back to what we're doing, essentially we changed this. So we restarted it, and then we changed the, where is it? iptables multiport.conf. If you have to look into how you could sort of exploit this, is you can change any of these files, and what it's going to allow you to sort of escalate privileges, and you want something to be executed. So it could also be, you don't have to get banned, because if we look into this file, it's not showing it. Then we've cadets. We can also do action check. Each action ban, so we can also do it instead of action check on the end of the fail to ban. So this one could also work, but I'm just going to use this one. And then we have the action start. So I think this is one of the better ones because you can sort of invoke it yourself by trying a lot. So this was basically it for this machine. It wasn't that hard, but still for a simple or like easy box, it was quite some steps you had to take to sort of get the flags of this one.